Good idea, Vancouver.
We have already this year in Washington broken the all-time record for seasonal snowfall, 55 inches. Baltimore, they got even more, but the Washington record goes back to 1899. Brian, back to you.
All right, Tom Costello starting us off. And Tom, up here to the north of you in New York, we dodged the bullet this last weekend storm that dumped so much on Washington. Our luck ran out effective with this one. It started snowing overnight. It's still snowing, obviously, and it's going to snow on into tonight for a second evening. Ann Thompson's live in Central Park, not far from here in Midtown Manhattan. Ann, good evening.
Hi, Brian. You know, nothing is cheap in New York, including the snow. Mayor Michael Bloomberg estimates that for every inch of snow that falls, it costs $1 million to clean it up. And here in Central Park, so far, there are 7 inches. New York may be the city that never sleeps, but a big wallop of snow today tried to bring it to a standstill.
The snow's falling very hard, thick snowflakes now.
Commuters on the Long Island Railroad found plenty of seats into the city as many workers took a snow day.
We closed early because all the patients canceled. We work from 8 to 8 today. No one's coming in because of the weather.
Some New Yorkers tried to stick to their daily routines, but by mid-afternoon it was difficult to get around. Local TV went wall to wall with warnings.
Blizzard warnings are in effect across Long Island for the city, central and southern New Jersey for the rest of tonight.
Reporting on cash-strapped cities and towns watching expenses pile up with the snow.
How's your budget holding up under all this?
Budget was shot yesterday.
All throughout the Northeast, those who dared to drive soon wished they hadn't. In central Pennsylvania, a 50-vehicle pileup closed a 9-mile section of westbound I-80.
Truck in front of me jackknifed. I tried to get stopped, couldn't. And after that, it was just one big reaction after another.
Mangled tractor trailers littered the snow-swept highway. 17 people were sent to the hospital. The furious storm, whipped up by 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, grounded air travel, stranding thousands, including U.S. Olympic ice dancers Tanith Belbin and Ben Augusto. The high-flying couple's flight from Philadelphia to Vancouver was canceled. Back in New York, with the snow still falling, even the United Nations closed its gates, leaving disappointed tourists to find other ways to entertain themselves. Across the region, schools were canceled, but on Broadway, the shows went on as hardy tourists waited patiently in line for discount tickets. Now, the trick tonight is going to be getting home because this storm strengthens without warning, and it's going to keep snowing for at least a while longer. We are under a blizzard warning here in New York City until 6 tomorrow morning. Brian?
Ann Thompson in Central Park. Ann, thanks. We now want to go to our friend Pat Battle, WNBC in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Pat, you and I have covered a lot of these over the years. This is about as bad a snow-wind combo as we can get here in Midtown.
I think you said it, Brian. We've weathered a lot of storms, but this one is really starting to pick up in intensity. As you can see, the wind is blowing, the snow is coming down. And for the first time in a very long time, New Jersey Transit has suspended bus service statewide tonight. That is a very rare occurrence as of 7 o'clock tonight. They were able to do so, though, because ridership was so light here in the state of New Jersey today. A lot of people heeded the warnings and did stay home tonight. For those who ventured out, state police say they've responded to more than 450 calls for assistance, more than 150 accidents, and that's just the state police. That's not counting the locals. One of the most serious accidents on a major thoroughfare here in New Jersey, Route 287, involved a snowplow that went off the road. That gives you an indication of just how bad the roads are tonight here in New Jersey. We're under about 18 inches of snow in most parts of the state. Brian, back to you.
Pat Battle in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Pat, thanks for that. All of this brings us to Al Roker, who's joined us here on the rink because we bring you to all the nicest places. You know, yeah. Did I hear correctly tonight that Baltimore and Washington have received more snow this season so far than Buffalo, New York?
Absolutely. More snow than Cleveland, Ohio. That's right. The places that normally get it aren't, and we're getting hammered, and it's going to continue. Brian, the snow amounts so far, we are talking snowfall amounts, 10.5 inches so far in Washington, 17 Baltimore, 20 in New Freedom, Pennsylvania, 12 in Philly, and Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., all now snowiest seasons on record. As we take a look, watches and warnings, we've got blizzard warnings from North Carolina, Washington, Virginia, Delaware, Jersey, New York City. That's because of the winds. Take a look on the radar. You can see it is spinning. This system is doing just as we predicted. It is intensifying as it moves off the coast, drawing in that moisture from the Atlantic, mixing with the colder air. We've got wind gusts of 45 to 50 miles per hour. Last hour, JFK reporting wind gusts of 55 miles per hour. And as that system moves off, you can see the isobars tightening. That means strong winds, and that's why we're going to have blizzard-like conditions, Brian. We also have another 3 to 6 inches of snow on top of what's already fallen. Some areas may even pick up another 6 to 9 inches. So while the snow is going to start to taper off after midnight tonight, these blizzard warnings go into effect really here in New York City till 6 a.m.
An intense blizzard event here in New York. So rare, though, to see this kind of intensity on the weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Al, thanks for being with us out here. We'll see you later in the broadcast. Our next story comes from the American Midwest, but it also involves nature and the weirdest kind of wake-up for people in the Chicago region. Turns out it was just what they suspected. Tonight, the story from NBC's John Yang.
Continuing our earthquake coverage this morning, never thought I'd say that.
Beneath a blanket of fresh snow outside Chicago this morning, a rude wake-up call.
You felt it have a good rumble where it woke